Welcome to Yours, Mine, Our Children, where youth have deep discussions about real life issues.
Hello and good afternoon. It's your girl Felicia J. And if I tell you guys, I am so ecstatic. I am super excited about this opportunity that we're about to bring to the forefront. This is an amazing time in society, in the world today, as we're all antsing up and I guess you can say hustling up and doing our own thing in society to make the world better. And here I am sitting today because we're about to bring something to the table that I don't think you've probably ever seen before. Like, this is an opportunity for youth and teens to come sit down with me, talk about the things that they've experienced in life, tell us what they're going through. We're going to help them solve some of these problems and perhaps maybe even impact their lives to go back into their campuses at school or at home or on the sports team and do better. And so I am, again, I'm ecstatic, y'all. I am very pleased to present to you the YMOC show.
All right. We are back and it's week 2. Are y'all super excited again?
Yes.
Let's go week 2. So last week we talked about peer pressure. Y'all kind of defined peer pressure, right? Mm-hmm. How did that make y'all feel?
I felt heard, you know.
Good.
I felt like someone was there to finally
hear what you have to say. Absolutely.
Felt like a safe place.
Yes. Look at this couch feeling like a safe place, girl. Anybody else? How did it feel last week? Just to get that off your shoulder.
Like a weight lifted off.
Word. Wow. I love it. So that's what we're here for, y'all. YMOC speaks. YMOC. YMOC. Yours, mine, our children. They're speaking up, speaking out, speaking about the things that they encounter on a day-to-day basis. This week, we are going to dive right in, and we're going to talk about peer pressure at school. But before we do, here we go. Introduce yourselves again real quickly, guys.
Hi, I'm Desiree T. I'm 16 years old, and I love to run track.
Hi, I'm Cariana T. I'm 13 and I like to be here.
Hi, I'm JoJo B. I'm 13 and I like to bake.
Hi, I'm Dezay. I'm 14 and I like to do art.
Hi, I'm Kamaya J. I'm 11 and I like to be here.
Hi, I'm Dezaria T. I'm 17 and I love to color.
Hi, I'm Caden C. and I'm 16 and I like to listen to music.
Hi, I'm Connor C. and I like to play football.
So I got my kiddos with me. Yeah. So we adopted the word kiddos last week, right? So we're going to call y'all kiddos, even though y'all going into that teenage, young adult, want to be grown, think you know everything stage, right? Can't nobody tell y'all nothing because you know everything, right? So this is what this is all about. We're bringing them to the couch. We're letting them sit down. We're having these conversations, and they're going to speak up, speak out, and speak about the things that they encounter on a day-to-day basis. This week we are talking about, as I said, peer pressure in school.
Yes.
I'm really ready. Who ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Tell their mamas and daddies that they skip school. Y'all ready?
Yes.
All right, so this week we're going to talk about peer pressure at school. And boy, do they have some stories to tell y'all. And I'm going to let them dive right in. And the reason that we're doing this is because I want the world to know I skip school. Everybody watching probably skips school every now and then, or maybe once in your life. And then there's those sweet little angels that didn't, right? We got one that didn't skip school. But we've all been under peer pressure at some point in our lives. And this is what this is about. And I want my babies to be able to tell you guys how they've encountered, what they've encountered, and then how they dealt with it. So we're going to talk about it. Give me one instance where you had to deal with peer pressure at school. Anybody, somebody, go ahead.
Well, these kids was vaping in like the bathroom and stuff, and my parents know about this.
All right. Mamas and daddies already know, so don't be judging. Let me say this real quickly. This is a no judging zone.
Yes.
Y'all don't get to judge my babies. They're being honest. They're coming out. They're speaking up, speaking about. So we're gonna let them talk. No judging, right? Go ahead, baby. How did you was vaping?
Oh no, I was not.
I was not joking.
Okay, go ahead.
But they was passing it around and stuff, and they had to get somebody to hold it, so they kept switching the people who was holding it.
Right.
Me, I'm
Finally came to you.
I'm a little slow, so I didn't know what it was.
Right.
Then we end up in the office and stuff, and they talk about smoking and stuff, and I had the vape
In your hand.
not in my hand, but then I gave the vape back, and then next thing you know, as soon as I gave the vape back, we end up in the office.
Right.
And then the girl throw the vape away.
Wow. On the way to the office?
Yes, and like we had to get.
So y'all all walking down the hallway talking like, oh my God, what the hell?
We all made up a story. Like,
Right.
whenever you making up a story, you gotta have everybody in on it. They all gotta know what to say.
Absolutely. Well, we're gonna talk about that's a whole other segment.
Yeah.
We all on the same team. We ain't gonna expose the victim, right, or the villain, right?
Oh, no.
Okay, that's a good one.
My mama was mad.
I'm sure she was.
She was like, "Why you holding that stuff for people?"
So you just green, you just holding it, not realizing
I
that
ain't know.
you about to go down to the principal's office and explain to him why you got a vape in your hand.
Like they had made us shake our hair. It was a metal skin. They made us take off our shoes.
Girl, you felt like you was in trying to go to jail.
I was scared. I was like, "Oh
Yes, you was.
And I ain't have it on me, so I was like, I should be good.
So let me ask you this: will you ever do that again?
No.
Absolutely not. Mission accomplished. All right. Anybody else? Another time. Go ahead, babe.
So one time we was heading to lunch, and we was having lunch, and it was my whole group of friends, and they wanted to fight this one girl.
Uh-oh.
I didn't even know why. I was being a little slow. I didn't even know why they wanted to fight her, but they wanted to fight her, but they was like telling everybody in the group to fight her, and I was in the group.
Right.
And so they ended up fighting the girl, and they was recording.
They are we.
They.
Oh, okay. All right. You was in the group, but
They was recording. And so next thing I knew, I ended up in the principal office because I was like
in the video.
I was in the video.
Absolutely. That's what I was gonna say.
And after I got the statement and stuff, but I was like, I would never do that again because I still have to go to detention because I was associated with it.
Wow. Now let's talk about that. Association and assimilation. You can be around the crowd. You may not be doing what they're doing, but if you are associated, you're going down too. And that's important for you guys to know as teenagers. And I'm glad that you brought that out because really, I was joking about it, but you were standing there watching. Right? You didn't kick that girl? You sure you didn't punch her in the head, pull her hair, do what y'all normally do? Alright, so you didn't jump her, but you were associated with the girls that did. You was in the video. And evidence, y'all, as teenagers, I'm going to say this to you once, I'm going to say it to you twice. Evidence is all they need in the court of law. Right? Our evidence is all they need. You can scream all day long, it wasn't me, but if that was you with them braids and that blue hair and that pretty smile, it's going to be you. And so I'm appreciative for you saying that because oftentimes we don't realize the company we keep. The company we keep. It's them friends. It's them friends. It's them friends that y'all say to y'all friends, and sometimes them friends will get you in trouble. Right? So we're going to talk about it in a minute, but give me another instance. Give me another. Go ahead. Ariana.
So one time we was in art, which last year was my 5th period. So we was in art, and then they had like all did something, and then they had all ended up getting detention. And then so that was like, Kari, do it with us. I'm like, no, like I'm not gonna get detention because that goes on my record.
Absolutely.
I'm not doing that.
Absolutely.
And then they was like, oh, you lame. I was like, no, I'm not lame. Y'all should probably want to be like me more.
Absolutely.
Because I'm not getting in trouble. Y'all the ones who wants to detention.
Right.
And they parents like don't think like they would like beat them. So I'm like, my mama crazy. So I'm not doing that.
Let's talk about the crazy mama. Let's talk about the later.
I'm not doing that.
Hey, but let me tell you something, and it's funny that you said that because I know I did. I grew up with a mama that didn't play. Come on, y'all, talk to me. Anybody else got mamas that don't play?
Yeah.
Okay, I grew up with mamas that don't play, and at the end of the day, my thing is, when you know your parents don't play, it's just some things you got the fear of God. Like, I don't want my mama to find out. I don't want my daddy to find out, huh?
And some kids don't be understanding that. They be like, just do it. I'm like, no, you don't understand. My mom will go crazy.
You gonna beat the snot out of me. And that's always a good thing, right? Sometimes we think that Because I grew up in the older age where, baby, them beatings didn't play. I don't get beatings like we got back in the day. But at the end of the day, y'all know how far to go with your moms and your dads. But let that be an example for you, and I guess I could say a reminder for you, because oftentimes y'all are put in those situations where the friends want to do something that don't even make sense to me. Right. Why would I get in trouble just go to detention?
Exactly.
Like you said, and then that's going to be on my record. Why would I do that? Because at the end of the day, now I've got to sit in detention. Well, number one, I got to go home and tell my mama that I got detention. And then number two, I'm going to be isolated from the whole entire school.
Yes.
And that's not cool neither. Mm-hmm. But those choices are choices, right?
And back like last year, because we had like a whole different like staff, like everything was just different. So we was bad. Well, I wasn't bad, but like
some of them kids was, right?
Yeah. So like last year, it was so called fun. I'm like, I don't care if it was fun. I don't care if it was boring. Like, I'm not going in there.
Absolutely.
Yes. Why would I do that?
Absolutely. And that's the pressure, you guys, that our kids are confronted with. And on a serious note, we can laugh and joke about it. But these are things that y'all have to deal with. And you have to sit back and look at, now that we're talking about it, I'm sure you're glad that you didn't join in with the crowd, right? Now, here we go. We got an example of a time where somebody did consent and they did give in. And tell the world about that one.
So my first time coming across peer pressure, and I didn't even realize, was around 8th grade. I had a girl I thought was my friend, and they'd smoke, they'd have vapes, and like one time she was just like, here, try it. And at first I was kind of like, I don't know what's in that, I don't know what it's going to do to me. But then like everybody was like, oh, she's lame, oh, just leave her. And so I was just kind of like.
So they were calling you lame?
Yes.
Only because you decided at that time not to?
Yes, I wanted to fit in.
Yep.
And at some point I was like, man, I really don't want to be the outcast. So I ended up doing it. That did not feel good at all. I almost died in the bathroom.
Oh lordy, first time about died.
Yes.
Okay.
But later on, after I realized that we got caught and it wasn't really worth being suspended from school over something that I didn't even enjoy.
Absolutely.
I was just kind of like, I'm not gonna let this person or anybody around me, no matter what they say, if I don't want to do it, and if I don't enjoy it, if I'm not comfortable, then it's just gonna simply be no. And ever since then, that's been my.
So that's where that I'm gonna do me come from in the last segment that you mentioned. You go, girl. Now we're getting somewhere. But that's a good one, because 8th grade.
Yes.
Y'all, they're vaping in middle school. Yes. They might be vaping in elementary, as far as I know right about now in today's society. But they're vaping, and that I think vaping has become the norm at school. It's become the norm in society, but it's not ethical nor legal in the schools.
Yes.
And so that consequence is number one that you have to think about. Okay, I just made a bad choice. Like you said, you got expelled, but not only that, you got sick.
Yes.
Think about the harm that you did to your body, your mind, psychologically, right? Your body didn't feel good. You probably had to call mom and say, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm just feeling vaping. I'm ready to go home.
Yes.
But the reality of it is it was an experience. You did it. Would you ever do that again?
No.
Good. That's a mission
Definitely
accomplished.
not.
Mission accomplished. All right. Anybody else?
Well, especially, I wanted to bring to light the little things. I know we talked about smoking, drinking, and, all that big peer pressure, but I feel like there's a little side to it, too, like, for example, I take an academic decathlon class.
You go, girl, you go, girl, you go, girl. Let's do this. Yes.
Throughout my whole life, I've kind of held the image that I'm like this smart kid, I know it. If you want an answer, you need help, you can come to me. And one incident, I came across this test and I didn't know what was going on, what am I looking at right now?
Right.
And that's when I kind of started to feel that peer pressure. My mom thinks I'm a smart kid, I can't fail her, I can't,
Aww.
And that was one time I actually cheated on the test, and it did not end well for me. But if I had to go back, I think I would take my L. Just if I didn't know it, I'd rather not cheat.
Absolutely. Right. So, you got chills on me, girl. That was a pretty deep one right there. But let's talk about this one. Let's unpack this one for a minute. The pressure of feeling like you're the smartest child in the family, in the school. The pressure of making all A's and B's. Right. The pressure of, because you are smart. All of y'all are very, very smart. Number one, let's get that right. but that pressure of maintaining an image.
Yes.
And there are times that even in our lives that we don't know the answers to everything. But you felt the pressure of having to know this in order to keep that persona of being the smartest child. And you said it, like, no offense whatsoever, but mom felt like you're the, you had this expectations that that your mom put on you, right? Or the expectations that your siblings put on you or your family put on you, and Desiree can't fail this test. So Desiree's going to do whatever I got to do to pass this test.
Yeah.
And that peer pressure is what happens time and time again with you guys, because you got to meet this image. You got to meet this. You got to maintain this status quo. And if people see me outside of that, oh my God, they're going to see the real me. And the real me is sometimes I don't know all the answers. I don't know. I don't have it all together. I'm in my 50s, y'all. I don't always have it together, right? And so I'm trying to help you guys know and understand that a lot of times we dive into situations, and I'm so glad you brought that out because, well, I've never cheated on a test, but I'm so glad that you brought that out because those are the little bitty things, like you said, that we overlook from time to time, like, oh, that wasn't bad, or I didn't get in a lot of trouble about that, or let's say I snuck out the window to go meet my boyfriend down the street, and I made it back home safe, and my mom and daddy didn't know. Oh, I didn't get in. I did that one. I made it out, and then you keep doing it, and you keep doing it, and you keep doing it, and then what happens? Absolutely. Let's talk about that. You can try it once, you can try it twice, but I guarantee you by the third time something gonna explode. And when it explodes, then that's when you find yourselves in those situations and you ask yourself, what have I done?
You know what? And I have to say, it's sometimes not all about, knowing the answers. Sometimes it's about having to give the answers, right?
Right. And I would like to add on about that. Once I was in class and a fellow friend of mine was sitting close to me during the test, and she wanted me to give her the answers.
Oh, wow.
And all I could think about was, should I give her the answers? If she gets it wrong, is she gonna blame me? Is she gonna, are we gonna like still be friends? So all that pressure on me made me really feel like, dang, this is like
too much
for me to handle. And yeah.
So did you give her the answers?
Yes.
Definitely.
So pressured, I just gave in and gave her my paper.
And then how did that make you feel though? How did that make you feel at the end?
It made me feel like I made a mistake. Like I felt regret and very guilty.
I'm sure
of doing something so wrong, just for someone else's sake.
Yeah. And so let's talk about that, guys. Let's talk about when you made those wrong decisions, just for somebody else's sake, and you go home. How do you overcome that? How do you conquer that? I'm sure you beat up on yourself, right? I'm sure there were times that you went home and just slammed your door. Well, we're not slamming doors at home, right? I'm sorry. There were times that you went home and closed the door, and you went in and just laid in your bed and thought about, like, what the world did I do? How did y'all overcome that? When did you finally eventually wake up and say, you know what? It was a mistake.
I have to add on to what she said. So back like in like 6th grade, whenever I was like in school, and like earlier this year, whenever I was in school too, my so-called friends, they would like text me because I was like, I guess the smart, nice like girl in the group. So they would always text me and be like, answers. I'm like, answers? Like, what are you talking about? And then they'd be like, for the test. I'd be like, oh. And me being in 6th grade and just like, you know what, whatever. Like, I just give it to them. And then I had ended up getting in trouble for it in school by one of my teachers. She was actually my favorite teacher. But I ended up getting in trouble for it. So I was like in trouble, but she was like, just like, don't do that again, whatever. So I was like, okay, cool. So then the next time they had asked, I was like, no. Like, because even though you getting a good grade, like she said, like, I don't know if my answers are right. Right. And I don't know if they're wrong. So if I give you my answers and they all wrong, then you gonna come back and be like, oh, you dumb, oh, you this. Like, no, in my eyes, it's like, you should never ask for them if you think like they wrong. Like, don't ask for the answers.
Right. And then that goes back to what we just talked about a minute ago, evidence. You can't tell the teacher, well, no, I didn't give them the answers because this in the phone. Right? Sometimes y'all don't think about, and I'm gonna use this word, y'all don't think about the dumb things that y'all do. Right? Y'all put the answers in the cell phone. And like she said, I'm standing in the video. You can't even deny that. Yeah. Like you can't stand and say, well, no, Miss Teacher, that wasn't me. I didn't send them those answers. And so a lot of times as kiddos, y'all don't think about the mere fact that evidence is key, right? I can stand all day long and say, no, that wasn't me, as long as you don't have evidence. But the minute you get evidence, then I gotta warm it up and be like, you know what? Okay, that was me. Guys, y'all might be quiet over there. Let's talk a little bit. So give me some instances where you thought about it and you just realized I should have done that differently.
Me, it was barbering school. We would just walk out of class. Like we wouldn't even want to do it. And we would just go away. You know.
So y'all was just walking out of class, just getting up, walking out of class.
Yeah, like we were just done with it. As soon as our teacher left the classroom, we would just walk out and like we would just leave.
Were you being pressured?
Nah.
So let me ask you this. So the teacher's in the classroom. The teacher's in the classroom, right? Mm-hmm. And y'all just done. Like I'm out. Bump this, peace, love, hair grease. I'm out. And you just walk out the classroom.
Come sit down.
And the teacher will be like, come sit down. And y'all like, man, I'm out of here.
Yeah,
but you did it because
we was just tired of it. It was just too much on our hands.
But think about the words you're using. We. Mm-hmm. So we was tired of it. You and your friends. If one person said, man, I'm tired of this, then everybody else started thinking, man, I'm tired of this. Mm-hmm. Right? When in essence, you might have not really been tired of it.
Yeah, I was just drumming up.
There we go. Now we getting somewhere. Now we cooking with grease. The reality of it was, you probably was the farthest thing from your mind was thinking about getting up, walking out that classroom when you walked in. But because peer pressure, brother, friend number one said, man, I'm sick of this. I'm out of here. Let's blow this joint. Mm-hmm. You felt that pressure of getting up and doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. Now when you sit back and you think about that today, how do you feel?
I wish I would have stayed that day because I missed a lot of important things in that.
There you go. Now we're talking. So now we realize the importance of even that, making those decisions puts us in a position where we often can fall behind, should I say, on our work. And was it Kariana, you talked about those deadlines of having your homework done by a specific time. You get up, you walk out. Now you got to figure out, well, what did they talk about in school? What do we got to do tomorrow? What's our homework? Those things have got to be hard on you as well. And so as we wrap up this section, give yourselves a big hand. I am so proud of you guys. Like, this is amazing. Parents, I hope you got your children sitting at the table, listening in, or in the car, or at home. Hopefully you got us on YouTube, on the big screen TV, watching us do this talk. But at the end of the day, there's a reality to this. We all face peer pressure. Yes. And I cannot begin to tell y'all, again, I say it. I mean, today, I'm still confronted with peer pressure. Mm-hmm. But it's how I handle it. Guys, right. It's how I handle it. Can I get an amen? Amen. Can I get a boom shakalaka? It's how you handle it. It's about the decisions that you make. It's about looking at you in the mirror. And I'm going to use you as an example if you don't mind, right? Looking at you in the mirror and saying, you know what? I really am smart. I'm very intelligent. And I can do anything I put my mind to. But when that pressure comes up on me, I'm going to handle it so much so that I don't crumble under pressure, that I don't break under pressure. I'm going to make the right choice. I'm going to make the right decision. And no matter what happens, I'm going to take this test. And if I pass, I pass. And if I fail, I fail. That's the choices that you guys have got to start making. Now, you got to take ownership of your decisions. And it's my hopes that even y'all that are listening in, that as we go through life, we woman up, we man up, we boy up, we girl up, and we make those decisions and we stand by our decisions. Right. We're going to talk a little bit more about that next week when we talk about how important is it to stand by your decision. Yes. You know, you got to stand by your decision. You got to stand by, I'm going to make this right decision, and I don't care what my friends think about me. Yes. I don't care what they say about me. I'm going to stand by my decision. How often do y'all feel like, or have you ever had to make that decision and you feel good about the decisions that you made because you made the right choice and you stood by it?
Yes.
Ever had that encounter?
Yeah. We call it standing on business.
Oh, well, now let's stand on business. Let's do it. Let's talk about it. Stand on business.
Like, if, say like they leaving the school or something, and they talking about you because you ain't want to go with them. You standing on business by saying, no, I ain't want to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you stand by your word.
Absolutely. And so that should give you some respect. Girl, she's down on her business. Don't mess with her because she's down on her business. Wouldn't that be an ideal trend to have in school where even if you're different because you're standing on your business? Yeah. Girl, how about that? So y'all go back to school this week and stand on your business. Can we do it?
Yes.
All right. This has been an amazing, amazing opportunity. Let's give it up one more time. Week 2. We are rocking and rolling. These babies are doing an amazing job bringing to the forefront, talking about the issues that they encounter. They're going to speak up, speak out, and speak about the things that they go through on a day-to-day basis. Now, as we conclude week 2, here's what I'd like to say. Week 3 is only going to get better. Y'all ready?
Yes.
Let's do this. Peace out.
Thank you for watching this episode of YMOC Speaks. Tune in next week for another deep discussion with our youth.